So we are back again with a coding session of display and positioning module. So in this module, we will be discussing regarding the block inline and the inline display property. Then we will go with the positioning, red index, float, and clear. So we are good and ready to go with our startup code, which I have already discussed in the module 1. For the display code, what I will do is I will arrange a container with the first container with the inline element and the second container with the block level element and the third with the inline element again. So I will just code it for all the three things. So we will be discussing regarding the display property. Commenting is good, always try to comment it. So I will take first a container. Inside that container I will have a main div. Inside that div I will be having the span tag for span tag I will populate it with the lorem ipsum sample tag text. Okay, I will just copy and paste the same thing. I just want a small text for the span. So we are having the container ready. I will just copy paste the same container. Okay, so one by one we will go with the. So in this I will be discussing regarding the display block. In the first container with the display block. Second, I will be discussing regarding the display inline block. And for the third one, I will be discussing regarding the display inline block, only the inline. Okay, so as you can see, like I am using the span tag, that is the inline block, for the display block property. So as we have discussed in the presentational module of display and positioning, like whenever we want the block level element to style it as a inline element, and for the inline element we want it to be a block element. So in such scenario, display plays a major role. So here, as you can see, there would be some requirement, like we want this inline level element to be displayed as a block level, like on the new line. So how we can do it? So we can do it using the display block element, display block property. Similarly, for the inline one, I will be using the block level element. And as you know, like the div is a block level element, and the block level element are always written on the new line, but we want the whole block to be beside each other. In such scenarios, we use the inline block element. Okay, so let's just dive into the CSS code and have a look on the server. It will give us a clear glance regarding how it is working. So I will just differentiate all the section and then we will go with the CSS thing. Okay, so right now you can see there are 3 sections. I will just give some padding to this also. Padding of 2%. Okay, and some margin of 2%. Okay, now these all the blocks are separated and it are easily been visually seen. So what I will do is I will code for the first one, that is the block level element. So what I am doing here is to convert the span, that is the inline level element, into a block. I will use the display block property. Display block, I will give it some kind of width and height, that is 200 by 200 pixel, and a border of 1 pixel, just to have a clear glance how it is working. I will give it orange color. Yeah, so as you can see, though this is inline level element, but it is shown as a block level on a single line, that every element is placed on a single line, which depicts that it is a block. So we can convert the inline to a block level element using the display block property. Similarly, if I want the next container that we have used in the HTML, that is the div element, which is a block, and we want to convert it into inline. So using the display inline block, it will be shown to us like this. Okay, I will write it main 2. Okay, yeah, so as you can see here, like this is a div is actually a block level element, and we are placing it one beside another. How? Using the display inline block. We are converting the block level to the inline block using the display inline block property. Similarly, we can also apply the inline property for the element. Third one is main 3, and we are using the element as the span, and I will just change it to inline. Okay, yeah, so the major difference between inline and inline block is the inline block will give respect to the width and height which you provide. So whenever you will inspect this particular container, they will provide the width and height of 200 by 200, but the display inline will not give the respect to the 200 by 200. And as you can see on my code, like it is having some underline, and when we hover over it, it will show the property is ignored due to display with display inline. So it already shows the error, like for the display inline, whenever we try to add a display inline, the width and height is not respected. It will not be shown, and the element will not follow any height or width property or height or width values. So this is the way the display property works. Moving forward with the positioning property, like in positioning property, we have gone through the four types, that is static, relative, absolute, and fixed. So the static is the default one, which every element is having defaultly. So we'll go one by one. We will first code with the HTML part, and then we will code the CSS thing. So I will start with the positioning property. Commenting it, having a comment on this. Best practice to have comments always on the code for the readability. Yeah, so for this, what I will do is I will have a main container. Inside that I will have another block level container, and inside that I will be having 3 child elements. So for that I will do is container, then the main container. Like I will have 4 main containers for different sections. Like for the static I will have main 1, for the relative I will have main 2, for absolute I will have main 3, and goes on. Then the child elements. For the child elements I will be using the block level child with another child, and that is the main 1 child, to have some differentiation. So I will So what I'm planning is, right, I will place 3 child element and I will target the middle child for positioning property. So I will write the default value for the div, second and third child. So as we are targeting the middle one, I will write is static. So this has covered the static markup, static one. Then next is the relative. I will just copy this container. Instead of main one, I will have main2, child as main2, and the middle one as the relative. Then goes the absolute one. For this I will be having main3 childs, targeting the middle child for the absolute positioning. Next comes the fixed. For that I will be using main4 container and main4 child relative to that. I will write it fixed so that we have, whenever we will see on the browser, we will have a clear glance regarding which container is having which styling. So let's jump on to the CSS part. For the static one, for the first one, that is the static one, what I will do before positioning all the containers, I will have a common CSS for the child elements. Like I will have the container, I will add the child, and I will give some width of 200 pixel by 200, height HSD 200 pixel height. Then the background color, I will give it orange, or I will give it a color of FF8931. Display inline block, margin of 10 pixel, have some gap, some border of 1 pixel, solid black, and the border radius to have a small smooth curve. And for the text alignment, to have a better visual, I will have the text alignment center. So what it will give is, it will provide us with the block, as you can see on our screen. Like I'm having the block with 200 by 200. It will be having for all the sections. Now at this current state, we are having all the containers with the same CSS, having same width and height with the background color, margin, border, etc. So now we will try to target each container the main middle child for positioning and to understand how the positioning works. So as I've told, like the static is a default thing and it will follow the normal flow or the normal positioning of the element, which is already the element is having. So what I will do is I will target the first main, like you can see on my screen, like in the HTML part, like we are using the main1 container, and using the main1 container we will target the main2 child. Okay, I have just forgotten to write main1, main2, main3. Okay, so using the main1, I will target the main one child, sorry, the second one we have to target it, so main to child, and I will have the positioning of static. So we will just look at our first container. So as you can see, we are targeting the second container with a static property, and it has no effect on it. It is following the natural positioning of the container. This is the default value of element is having for the position. Next we will go with the relative one. So for relative we are using the main to container. So we will target the main to container and the main to child, as we are targeting the middle one. For that we will be using, so I have added the relative property, and I want that this particular middle container should be shifted from top by around 4%, let's say 4%. So after saving it, when we will check on a browser, yeah, so as you can see, like this particular div has been shifted downward by 4 pixels, so we can just increase this value, or we will do one thing, we will add the left property with 2%, save it, refresh the browser. So as you can see, like it is being shifted relatively to its normal position, like wherever its original position is, relative to that it will position itself. So we have given the command to position that particular div from its original position by top 4 pixel and left by 2%. Similarly, we can position using the absolute also, but there is a major difference between the relative and absolute. Like in absolute we can target, or we can select the parent, like we can say we can select the target also to with whom we want to relate or position it. For example, if I want a particular div like the child element, as you can see on my screen, like this is the absolute position, absolute container, and I want that this container should be absolutely positioned as with respect to default one, or I want to be positioned with respect to the whole body. So we can do that using absolute positioning, or else if you don't want to target any parent container, then we can go with the relative option also. So what I will do is I will target the main container, like the container main. I will give him the position of relative. So I'm giving here the command that I want to target the main3 container. I will pass it the position relative, and using that relative property, using that relativity, I want to change my main3 child. Yeah. So after saving the code, as you can see on my screen, like the absolute container is being positioned relative to the first, like the main container, like the main3 container. It is targeting the main3 container, using its relativity it is positioning the absolute container with the top 40 pixel and left 2%. So this way the absolute positioning works. Now comes the fixed position. So for fixed positioning, what I will do is I will target the main4 container, I will pass the fixed, okay, the second main4 second child container. For I will pass main4 and position fix, and I want to be like above 40 pixel. I want to be okay. So I have added the main4 container with the main2 child. The container main4 is having a main2 child with a value of fixed. That value we are passing the position fixed value. So what it will do is it will fix this container, and whenever you try to scroll it will be fixed. So as you can see on my screen, that particular container has been fixed, and we are trying to scroll it, then also that container is at the same position as we want. So 40 pixel is like the gap between the top and this one. We can particularly have a fixed positioning based on the particular container also, but if I'm not passing any relativity, then it will take the relativity of the whole document and it will position itself. So I will just comment this out so that it is not affecting our future code. So next we will go with the z index, and for the z index I will use the same code as above. I will use the same container with the child elements but with different namings. So I will use the same markup. I will give it a zmin container. So I will pass as zmin. Just to differentiate it, I am writing it zmin container, and for the z index I will do is like the z main and the z main first child as a position of absolute positioning with top 10 pixels, left 10 pixels, and background of F80A5D, just a random number. Similarly, I will go for the second child, that is z main 2, with the positioning of 20 pixel, or I will go with the 40 pixel, 40, and color of color I would give F08A F small d, and the third child I will give it a value of 80 by 80 left and top. Color I will give him 6A2C70, or some different color. So after saving it, I will refresh the browser and I will check. Yeah, so as you can see on my screen, the first one is okay. So I have made a mistake here. I will add the main 3 also. Okay, yeah. So as you can see, like the first child is in the lowest stack. The second one is above it, that is F081, and the third one is this one. I will just add the container number, container 1, so that we have visual effect about the container stacking. Okay, so as you can see, like the container 1 is at the lowest one, then the middle one comes to container 2, and then the container 3. And if suppose if I want that I want the container 1 to be at the top, that is at the place of container 3, and I want the container 3 to be at the place of container 1. So what I will do is that we can do it using the z index. So I will add the z index of 1, then I will give the middle one the z index of 0, and I will give the third z index of -1. So it will be in the lowest stack. Yeah, so as you can see right now, like the container 1 is coming upward, which was not there previously, and the last one has gone in the lowest stack. So using the z index we can change the stacking order of the containers or the elements. It is usually used when we want when there is two images overlapping on each other, and we want on the desktop version we want that the A image should be above, and on the mobile version we want the B image to be above the A. So in such scenario this z index plays an important role. Now comes the float and clear property. So this is another way of aligning the containers. So right now what I will do is I will have a container and the main container, float main container. Okay, I will take that, and I will use a block level element which will be stacked on a new line. I will add the child container, stacking one above the other, and I will add child 1, child 2, child 3, child 1, child 2, and child 3. Okay, and I will add the CSS for the same. So for that I will be doing is float main targeting the child. I will give them, I will instruct them to have float left. So what is happening is currently what is happening is these are block level element. There is child 1, child 2, and child 3. They are stacked one another on a new line. So we want that this child should be aligned one beside the another. So we can do that using the float left property. So when I will save this CSS, it will align them one beside the other. So as you can see here, but this seems to be broken. What is happening is it is collapsing the parent height. So we can resolve this issue using the clear property. So in such scenarios what we have to do is we have to target the parent container. It's after we have to pass the content as empty content. We have to apply the display block property, and then we have to clear both. So what is saying is we have to, it is instructing the browser to clear the float on both the side. So when I will save this, it will clear the floating. So as you can see on my screen, like right now the container is not collapsing, it is properly visible, no container is been seems to be broken. So this way the clear property will save us from collapsing the parent container height or for having the broken elements. So that's all from my end in the display and positioning coding module.